Howdy folks, and welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2, where I'm out doing a spot of hunting for deer in order to bring food back to the camp at Horseshoe Overlook and ensure that nobody starves to death. Well, nobody's going to starve to death, but the quality of the food that you and everybody else in the camp can enjoy is going to be heavily dependent on what provisions you bring back for Pearson to cook. Hunting in this game is slightly more complicated than just pointing a weapon at an animal, of which there are 130 different species in this game, by the way, and that's not including fish. But it's slightly more complicated than just pointing a weapon at an animal and pulling the trigger. Well, if all you're interested in is the meat from the kill, then just about any weapon on any target will do just fine. However, if you're interested in recovering the best quality pelts for crafting and equipment upgrades, then you're going to have to take a bit more care. First, you're going to have to select the right target. There are 3 different standards of quality animal out there: poor, good, and perfect. You're going to have to identify the perfect quality targets by observing them, and then you're going to have to use the right weapon for the job. For example, even if you've got a perfect quality jackrabbit in your sights, if you unload a shotgun at it, you're probably not going to do much favours to the skin. It'll still be usable, but it'll probably now only be poor quality, and you won't be able to use it for crafting upgrades, even though you will be able to sell it, although not for a huge amount of money. If you want to recover the skin in the best possible condition from a jackrabbit, for example, you're going to have to use a .22 caliber varmint rifle and get a clean kill with a single shot. But how do you know this? How do you know exactly what type of weapon is required to get a clean kill and a perfect skin from the animal that you're tracking? Well, you do it from study and observation of your prey. There are a number of different ways you can do this, but they pretty much all involve getting close enough to the target to actually watch its behaviour and update your compendium, which will reveal exactly which weapon is required for the cleanest possible kill. Here's an early example. While I was still quite new to the whole idea of hunting and was still learning the intricacies, I've just spotted my very first elk. Because it's the first time I've seen one, I don't know exactly what species of elk it is, and I can't tell from this range what quality of pelt it's going to have, 1, 2 or 3 stars. Well, I could. If I pulled up my items and equipped my binoculars, I'd be able to not only get that information, but also study the animal from this distance. But this works too. I'll just have to sneak closer to the target, although I'm running the risk of it spotting me and spooking it. Of course, it can also smell me coming, so I'm just going to check the wind, and yes, my scent is blowing away from the elk, so it's not going to smell me coming. And if I get close enough, and this should more or less do, and now I'm close enough to study it, and that's just identified it as a 3-star perfect quality pelt Rocky Mountain cow elk. So that's just updated my compendium on this animal, and at this point, if I press the right one button to show information, it would tell me that the weapon required to get a perfect, clean kill on this particular breed of animal is actually a rifle. But I didn't do that, and I don't actually have a rifle with me anyway, so this is a kill. It's not a particularly clean kill. I'm going to have to put it out of its misery, and the quality of the skin has degraded from 3 to just 1 stars, because I used the wrong weapon, and it took 2 shots, and it was a very messy kill. Of course, I have killed the thing, so I'm not just going to leave it here. That would be a complete waste. So I'm going to skin it anyway, even though it's a pretty bad quality pelt. And I will, of course, get all of the meat from the animal. Now, when it comes to storing the pelts, you have a number of options. You can store any number of small animal pelts in your satchel, any number of medium animal pelts on the back of your horse. But a large pelt like this, from an elk, or a bear, or an alligator, for example, you only have space for 1 of them on the back of your horse. So why all the fuss? Why is it so important to get perfect quality pelts? Well, 2 reasons. First of all, Pearson here, back at the camp, cook, is not only a cook. Once you've bought the leatherworking tools for him, he can use these perfect quality pelts to craft upgraded satchels for you, which increase your carrying capacity for all types of equipment: tonics, ingredients, kit, provisions, materials, valuables, and eventually, once you've unlocked all of the existing satchels, he can make you the Legend of the East satchel, which combines the effects of all the other satchels into one. So it is in your best interests to at least attempt to collect perfect quality skins for Pearson the camp cook. But I mentioned there were two reasons, and the other one is the trapper. There is an exceptionally polite Canadian trapper travelling the world. You can find him in a number of locations, but you can always find him at the market in the town of Saint Denis, down in the county of Lemoyne. He has a huge range of clothing, items and equipment available for sale. However, some of them require not only numerous perfect quality animal skins, but also the skins of legendary animals, which are scattered across the world and also available for hunting. Now, I'm the first to admit that some of his clothing sets do look a little silly. However, his reinforced equipment and his saddles are definitely worth getting. His bandoliers are going to increase the carrying capacity for the ammunition on all your rifles, shotguns and repeaters, and his main and cross-draw pistol and gun belts are going to not only increase the carrying capacity of all your revolver and pistol ammunition, but will also reduce the rate at which those weapons degrade over time through use. Now, sometimes you are just going to get lucky. I'm out here hunting cougars. To complete the hunting challenge, I have to kill 3 cougars with a bow and skin them in order to unlock some upgraded equipment. Now, to complete the challenge, it can be any quality cougar and I can harvest any quality pelt. It doesn't really matter, but I want to at least attempt to maximise the return on my investment here and get the best quality skins from the highest quality cougar kills. The problem? Well, when it comes to hunting cougars, there's more than one problem. If you're not careful, you end up being the one hunted. But also, a regular arrow from a bow is not the ideal weapon with which to go hunting cougars. It will often take more than one shot, which means you're not going to get a clean kill, and you're not going to get the best possible quality pelt, unless you've learnt the recipe for improved arrows, which require the use of flight feathers harvested from bird kills. One improved arrow in the right place, a head or neck shot, will be enough to put a cougar down with a single shot. And you don't always have to see an animal to know that it's there. Pay attention to your horse. If your horse starts getting agitated, it probably means there's a predator nearby. And there is in fact a cougar right there. So that's a kill. And the benefit of using the bow as opposed to a rifle is that it's a silent kill, which means I didn't scare off the American black bear that was lurking on the path ahead. And I didn't really, under the circumstances, have time to check out the black bear and pick the appropriate weapon for dealing the kill, but as it happens, by an amazingly lucky coincidence, an improved arrow fired from a bow is also, providing you get a headshot, the perfect weapon for taking down American black bears as well. And he also had a 3-star skin. Of course, predators aren't the only thing that you have to worry about when you're out in the woods overnight.
Nice fire. Mind if I warm my bones? Y'all niggas Murphy Hills. You should be careful where you're camping.
I can look after myself. Besides, it's a free country.
Free country? No. Everything bought and paid for. And we gonna protect what's ours. Y'all be careful where you wander. Come on, let's go. I think you got the message.
They'll kill you next time.
The O'Driscolls, who we've already met, and we're going to be seeing more of later on in this episode, are not the only gang of bandits and outlaws roaming the world. Down to the southwest, in the state of New Austin, which is basically Texas, we've got the Del Lobos. And up here on Roanoke Ridge, we've got a bunch of degenerate hillbillies going by the name of the Murfree Brood, and they are particularly vicious and nasty. This was a warning. The next time we come across them, they're not going to be nearly as generous. Once you're in a rival gang's territory, it does pay to keep your eye on the road for potential ambush spots.
Whoa, y'all look a little lost.
Ah, bollocks. So right now my options are get robbed and possibly killed, fight my way out, or just attempt to make a run for it.
Me and my brothers might be able to help you.
I got the horse.
Yeah, but I got the semi-automatic shotgun. Oh crap, there are a lot of them. Yeah, time to get out of here. I can just keep going at this point. Or, now that I'm no longer in the middle of an ambush crossfire, I can attempt to kill my pursuers. Now, this is kind of risky for more than one reason. Obviously, I'm getting shot at, but also my horse really does not like this. And these loud noises may result in my horse bucking me and making a break for it. Also, the shotgun at these kind of ranges isn't the ideal weapon, so we're going to switch to the Lancaster repeating rifle. Much better. Right. We're good. Try to calm the horse down a little. Not all horses are the same. They all have different characteristics. This Arabian, for example, is incredibly fast and agile, but it's kind of skittish and really doesn't like loud noises. On the other hand, something like a Hungarian half-breed, while it isn't anywhere near as fast and agile, is a lot less skittish and makes a much more reliable warhorse. Anyway, how about we hunt something just a little bit more challenging? I mentioned that there are various different legendary creatures scattered around the world. And relatively early on in the game, shortly after you arrive at Horseshoe Overlook, Hosea is going to take you out hunting a legendary grizzly. It's not going to work out too well, but he is going to give you a map which indicates the approximate locations of all of the various different legendary creatures roaming the world. Now, I was up in this neck of the woods in the Grizzly Mountains, not actually looking for a legendary creature. I received a tip that there were some wild horses roaming up in this area, horses of particularly high quality. And while I never found the horses, I did find something else. When you wander into an area inhabited by a legendary creature, a pop-up will appear on screen, notifying you of the fact. And once you're in a legendary creature's domain, Arthur permanently marks its position on his map. So even if you don't track it and kill it, you can always come back later. In this case, we've wandered into the territory of a legendary bison, up here in the far northwest of the map, around Lake Isabella. Now, you might just get lucky and wander across the legendary creature, but you probably won't. What you do, once you're in the territory inhabited by a legendary creature, is you start using your tracking vision, and you look for clues. Now, you might have to actually quarter and search the area a bit before you find your first clue, but the clues are definitely out there. And you'll know that you found a clue to a legendary animal rather than just a patch of herbs or an animal trail by the colour of the clue. The regular stuff that you spot, like patches of herbs, are indicated in your tracking vision by a blue glow, but a clue to a legendary creature has a gold glow. I spotted something over there. You need to be careful on the lake, of course. I mean, it's mostly frozen, but not completely. Definitely spotted something over in this direction. I think I'm going to hitch the horse here and proceed on foot.
Let's see what we got. Whoa, way ahead of me.
Okay, now we're tracking the legendary white bison. Well, we're not actually tracking the bison. Technically we are, but we're actually tracking the location of the second clue, which is out here somewhere. Remember, we're looking for a gold glow, as opposed to the regular blue glow. There's something in these trees on this island. There it is.
Looks a way off.
Yeah, we got some bison dung, and at this point I can actually pretty clearly see its hoof prints in the snow. I just stopped to refresh the trail, and there's another clue right up ahead. Seems to be some good fishing in this lake as well, but we'll worry about that later. Let's check out the next clue. Broken sticks.
Okay. Where are you?
Trails leading off into the trees on the far side of the lake. Actually, I think I saw something. Let's get the old scoped rifle out. I'm pretty sure I saw something moving up there. Wonder if that's it. Let's continue following the trail. Oh, there is some movement. That is it. Okay. Wow. A headshot with a scoped rolling block rifle, and it didn't put that thing down. And I was using express ammunition as well, which is the highest damage weapon in the game. Technically, you could argue that I only hit it in the muzzle, which might not necessarily be a kill. And you might be sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, Jingles, this is not going to be a clean kill. You're going to ruin the pelt. Well, yeah. This is admittedly kind of cheap, but you don't actually have to get a clean kill on a legendary creature. You just have to get a kill. Looks like it's going to take a third shot to put this thing down. Got it. In case you're wondering, by the way, exactly what a rolling block rifle is, that simply refers to the breech loading mechanism. It was a very tough breech loading mechanism, which allowed for more powerful ammunition to be used. This is probably a Remington rolling block rifle, although they don't use trademarked names like that in the game. The Remington rolling block rifle, designed in 1864, and along with the Sharps rifle, was one of the two rifles used most by the bison hunters of the 1870s and 1880s. This was a 20-year period in American history where the bison herds of North America were hunted to near extinction. In the 1860s, there were anything between 25 to 30 million buffalo roaming the plains of North America. By the end of the 1880s, there were less than 100 remaining in the wild. They'd been hunted nearly to extinction, primarily for their skins. As you can imagine, this was fairly catastrophic for the Native American tribes who relied on the bison for their livelihood. One member of your gang, Charles Smith, is half Native American, and this is an incredibly touchy subject for him. In fact, it's from Charles that we actually acquired our rolling block rifle in the first place.
What you preparing for?
Greatest of gifts.
An unguarded stagecoach.
No, you simple-minded fool. Bison.
Bison?
Bison, from which you can get anything. There's some over on the plains, I believe. I saw a couple a long way off.
Oh. Good luck.
You want to come with me? I'll show you how we hunt one.
Sure. Why not?
I like Charles a lot. He's definitely one of the better members of the gang.
Round up then. Let's go.
He hasn't had a particularly easy life, with his father being a free coloured man and his mother a Native American. He's had the worst of both worlds, particularly in this period in American history.
You know, it was before my time, of course, but my mother used to tell me stories of how her tribe moved with the bison. They lived almost as one. The bison went, my people went. They were the center of all life. We couldn't survive without them. They provided us with everything. Food, clothing, shelter, tools. There was a lot of respect.
Huh. I don't remember much of my childhood, but I think my people, well, we pretty much moved with the whiskey.
Well, my father did that too. Let's try over here, to the left.
In case you're thinking, hang on Jingles, isn't that another new horse you're riding? Yeah, it is, well spotted. And once we're done here, I'll show you how I acquired it. Don't worry, it's all perfectly legal.
Over there. You see them all? Incredible, aren't they? We should only kill one of them. I'll keep them ringed in and you see if you can bring one down. Okay? Clean as you can.
Okay.
At this point, I don't actually have the correct weapon for taking down a bison with a clean kill, so we're not likely to get a pristine hide from whichever one we do kill, but I do have a double-barreled shotgun, and I do have some solid slug ammunition. So, maybe this'll do. Gonna have to get reasonably close, of course. Wow. Okay. It's going to take more than one shot. In fact, it took 4.
Well done. butcher it. Take the horns, too. It can all be used.
I have to admit, I'm kind of curious to see exactly what kind of quality pelt we're going to get from this bison. Although it's not going to be great. Not with 4 shotgun slugs in it.
Easy, girl. I'm nearly there.
And I didn't bother to study the creature first, so I've no idea what the potential quality of the pelt might have been. But the point of this mission, amongst other things, is just to introduce you to bison hunting. Let's see.
Good job.
Yeah,
Stow that on your horse and mount up. I want to go check something out.
as expected. The poor quality bison pelt. Still, I'll be able to get something for it.
Okay, let's go. Hey there, girl. Where are we going?
I thought I saw some scavenger birds over here. Just wanted to see what attracted them.
You can actually learn a lot from Charles on this mission. Remember, you don't have to see a creature to know that it's there. You can follow its trail, you can pay attention to your horse reacting to the presence of predators, and if you see scavengers circling, there's guaranteed to be something lying dead that, as well as the scavengers, is likely to also attract the attention of other predators that you can lie in wait for.
No. Look. Bison. Shot and left for dead, it looks like.
Why would someone do that?
I don't know. But I see tracks heading in this direction. I say we follow them.
All right, lead the way. It's already starting to rot.
Somebody's killed these creatures and hasn't even bothered to take the skins, they've just left them there for the scavengers. As you can imagine, this is a fairly touchy subject for Charles Smith here.
Could it have been an animal?
No, they've been shot. I just don't know why anybody would just leave them here to rot like that.
Well, we're going to find out. Everything happens for a reason, not necessarily a good reason.
Look, another dead bison. On that hill to the right. Come on. Shot and left for dead again. But this one looks fresher.
There's a camp there. I'm gonna take a look.
Find anything, Arthur?
Camp looks fairly recent. The fire's still smouldering. Somebody left some moonshine.
Dogs haven't gone cold yet. Maybe half a day since they left.
Bison's been dead about the same amount of time.
So what do you want to do?
They could still be in the area. Let's get up higher. See if we spot anything.
Lead the way, Charles. You're in charge. It's getting kind of dark, though.
This way. We should have a good view from up here.
With this kind of light, though, we're probably only going to spot, well, another campfire.
You see anything?
I see some smoke to the east. Maybe another camp. It's worth a look.
All right. Let's go.
It's worth a try. I mean, the people in the camp aren't necessarily the people we're looking for, but they may have seen the people we're looking for. And in the absence of any better clues, it's all we really have to go on.
Bastards. Just killing for fun.
You think we can talk?
I don't kill for fun. I kill when I need to.
Speaking of predators, I can hear coyotes in the background, although they're mostly just scavengers. They're not going to attack the horses. We should be okay.
Look, more dead bison. It has to be them. Come on.
Wait up.
Now, don't do anything stupid, Charles.
Did you fools shoot those bison?
What's your problem?
I said, did you fools shoot those bison?
Calm down, you black or red bastard, whatever the fuck you are.
Oh, you really shouldn't have said that.
Did you shoot them?
Yes, we did.
We shot them bison. We'll shoot you too if you don't get.
What business is it of yours? What? We...
So,
That business of mine!
that just happened.
God, you're crazy!
Like I said,
I got a family.
an incredibly touchy subject for Native American people.
Stand back, Charles. I'll get you some answers. What the hell are you doing?
Gonna feed this guy the old 5-knuckle sandwich until he starts talking.
Killing those bison and leaving them to rot. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you do.
God damn it, tell us or you're dead.
Oh, okay. We were paid to kill as many as we could and make it look like it was Indians.
Just kill him, Arthur.
No,
Oh, really?
don't kill me. I'm begging you.
Well, suddenly I'm no longer quite so concerned about keeping this son of a bitch alive. Paid to make it look like the natives did it. What a scumbag.
That's what he deserved. I've seen enough of this. I'm heading back.
Okay. I'm gonna see if there's anything worth taking from their camp. I'll catch up with you later.
Then again, in retrospect, having killed them both, we're never going to find out who put them up to it, but they needed killing. Anyway, with that business concluded, remember I mentioned that this is a new horse that I'm riding. And don't worry, I did acquire it by entirely legal methods. You see, food, skins, crafting materials, loot, roving gangs of bandits are not the only things that you can find wandering around the plains of the North Americas. There are also herds of wild horses. And if you know how, you can get yourself a fancy new ride. And it ain't going to cost the $400 to $1,000 that it would cost if you were to buy one from a stable. Wild horses. Just standing there. The horse that I'm currently riding is a Tennessee Walker. It's the horse that you start the game with, and it's alright, but it's not particularly good. Pretty much any horse that you come across in the wild is probably going to be better than your starting horse. I don't know exactly which breed either of these two are, but if I get close enough I can find out. The trick, of course, is not to spook the horse any further. Make your approach slowly, but steadily, and in a calm manner. If the horse shows signs of spooking, slow down or stop, and call out to the horse to calm it.
You're okay.
I'm actually close enough to study the horse now, so let's find out exactly what it is. Can't actually tell just from looking myself. It's a Kentucky Saddler.
Okay. Now.
Alright. Well, it's not a great horse, but it's definitely better than my Tennessee Walker, so I'm going to take it. Nice and slow and easy. Having an analog thumbstick on the controller really helps with this. You're alright, boy. Or possibly girl, I can't tell just yet. Once you're close enough, without spooking it,
Okay.
give the horse a pat if you have to calm it further. And once you're this close, you can mount and begin the taming process. Easy there.
There we go.
And here we go. Now the horse is going to try to throw you off, so you have to counteract its moves with the thumb controller on the joypad.
Okay, let's keep at it.
And eventually, it's either going to throw you off, or you're going to break the horse. If at first you don't succeed, try again. It didn't run off too far.
Settle down.
I mean, it doesn't like us much, but it's not entirely sure about it. Otherwise it would have bolted and we'd never see it again. So repeat the whole process. Nice and slow, but confident.
It's okay.
Here we go.
Easy now.
That's right. Nothing to worry about.
That's it. Nice.
And have another go.
Settle down.
Remember, using the directional controller on the thumbstick to counteract the moves that the horse is making. And it will either throw you off, or you'll break the horse.
All done.
And we've done it. A free horse. Better than the one I had as well. It's still a little wild, until you achieve horse bonding level 1, when it will officially become your horse and respond to your whistle. Now, you can only have one active horse at a time, because you only have one saddle, so whichever horse you actually have the saddle on is your main horse. Any others can be kept in a stable, and if you wish to switch between horses, you simply visit the stable and then equip your saddle on the horse that you want. I want to work on this horse just a little bit longer to get it to trust me and achieve at least horse bonding level 1, which does not take a huge length of time. You just have to ride the horse, pat the horse, feed the horse, and eventually you'll achieve that level of trust that is required for the horse to fully accept you as its new master.
Well done.
There we go. Horse trusts me a little more. Do I have any food for it? That would certainly help. Let me check my satchel. Oh, I've got some wild carrots. That'll do. Here you go, boy. Yeah, he likes those.
Good girl.
Oh, it's a girl. Whoops. Good girl. Yeah, you like me now, don't you? Not quite there yet. Let's just walk her around a little. Give her time to get used to me. Yeah, she's settling down. You know what else would help to speed the whole process up? Let's administer a little bit of horse care. Poor old horse has been roaming the plains for years and has never been brushed. And we have a grooming brush in our satchel. This is going to be an entirely new experience, which she should approve of. There it is. Horse bonding achieved, level 1. There are 4 different levels of horse bonding, all of which are going to increase your horse's health and stamina, and unlock trick moves that you can perform on your horse. But for now, horse bonding level 1 is all we need. This is now officially my new horse. And it didn't cost me a couple of $100. Of course, I'm not going to be able to sell it for a couple of $100 because I don't have the papers. Of course I don't. It's a wild horse, but those are the rules. There are some unscrupulous horse traders out there who will give you a better price than you would receive at a stable for a horse that doesn't have any papers, but at this point in the game, I don't know any of them. And at bonding level 1, it's not going to fetch a particularly high price. Now, as mentioned earlier, wild animals are not the only dangerous things wandering the North American plains. There are also various different bandit gangs, and we had a run-in, one of many, with one in particular, the O'Driscoll gang, led by Colm O'Driscoll. He's not a big fan of Dutch, and that poor unfortunate tied to the tree over there is Kieran. He's a member of the O'Driscolls that we captured in the Grizzlies, and he spent the best part of the last 2 weeks tied to that tree, without much in the way of food, right in front of the camp cookpot. I figure he must be good and softened up by now. Let's go and see if we can get anything out of him.
When's this going to end?
You got some speaking to do of your own. About that old gang of yours.
I told you, I don't know nothing.
That's what I thought.
Whoa! Hold your horses there. It seems the cat has got our friend here's tongue. I was thinking Mr. Williamson could have a word.
Ready to talk, boy? I told you, mister. I told all of you. I don't know nothing, okay? They ain't no friends of mine. I just been ridden with them for a while.
Horseshit! You see, we heard that part, so how about you tell the truth? Dutch, what do you want me to do?
Hurt him, so the next time he opens his mouth, it is to tell us what is going on. Who am I kidding? One of O'Driscoll's boys couldn't open his mouth, but he'd tell a lie. Screw it. Let's just have some fun. Geld him.
Yeah! What's he doing? Where's he going?
Oh, don't worry. You're only balls, boy. Just gonna cause you trouble. You know, in Imperial Rome, eunuchs was among the happiest and most loyal of courtiers.
No, you kidding me, right?
Of course.
You sick bastards! Oh, what do you want from me?
Well, you are gonna talk. The only question is now or after we got these little fellas off.
Okay, listen. I know where O'Driscoll's holed up, and you're right. He don't like you any more than you like him. He's at 6 Point Cabin. I'll take you there. Serious, I don't like him. I mean, I like him even less than I like you, no offense.
Oh, none taken.
Okay then, partner. Why don't you take a few of us up there right now? I got this, Dutch. Should be fun. All right, you. Come on. Let's go.
Gildy.
Let's both hope you ain't trying to trick us, O'Driscoll.
I ain't no O'Driscoll.
You sure as shit was. John, Bill, come here. We got a social call needs making. Where are we heading?
Up into the hills behind Valentine. Well, I'll show you.
John, you take this little rattlesnake with you. Any nonsense, kill him. Sure. We're gonna pay your buddies our respects.
He taking us to Combe?
That's what he says. Come on.
I'm taking you to him. Look, I'll give you more directions when we're close. But if I know where we are, it's up past Valentine.
All right, I'll lead.
Young Kieran's not actually that bad a kid. I mean, I do feel kind of bad about this.
Sharing saddle with an O'Driscoll. Who'd have thought?
How many times I gotta say? I ain't an O'Driscoll.
You sure look like one, and you smell like... God damn. You smell like one, too.
I smell like horse shit.
That's right. Boy, are you high.
Well, it's not his fault. He has been tied to a tree for the last 2 weeks.
Morgan, you got throwing knives in your saddlebag. Dud said that you might... I was asked to give them, and I'm doing you the further courtesy of telling you about it.
Next time you want to give me something, how about you give it to me, instead of hiding it somewhere, hoping the opportunity comes up to mention it.
Last goddamn favor I do you.
Hey! Hey! If I got my bearings, it's over here. Yeah, I know this country. Take this track up through the rocks.
Williamson.
What, Morgan?
Just to say, well, even you can't screw up killing O'Driscolls.
Funny. And I guess you're good here. Unless some soft-handed feller comes along and tells you you've gone too far.
What are you talking about? Fighting that big bullock up in Valentine? How wise you think beating a man to death would have been? With all them folks looking on, when we supposed to be laying low.
I saw your eyes, Morgan. You didn't go clever, you went soft.
I'll take it. After all, you are an authority on not being clever.
The captive gets a little cough in his throat, looks at you with some big doe eyes. You gonna let Combe go free?
I was fighting Combe when you was pretending to fight Indians.
Don't call my record into question.
It's your abilities that call your record into question, Bill.
Now we go left, road'll take us up and round.
So, anyway, apparently there are now throwing knives in my saddlebag. This may be a clue that you're going to need them in the encounter up ahead.
Those are the hills. Head for them.
Save your horses, we gotta climb, boys.
Boys, we're almost on them. Now, who knows if this son of a bitch we got with us is talking true, but if it's what he says it is, and Colm O'Driscoll's here, we can end years of fighting, here and now.
Amen to that.
Here, here.
I swear, this is where he was.
Shut up.
Okay, now cut left up here. We go down the hill into the forest.
We're going in quiet, taking them out as we find them, trying not to set things off. But if we do, we move quick and hard. We settle this like we know how, okay?
Okay by me.
With you, Morgan.
All right, then.
Through the trees here.
Easy.
Hey, we're real close. I'd leave your horses the other side of this clearing.
I'll get my guns off my horse, and I'm ready.
Easy, Bill. Quiet.
You gonna get them knives?
I said easy.
Follow me, all right? It ain't far.
We might have shared a horse, but we ain't friends. Remember, I'm watching you. Every moment.
I ain't gonna shop you now, come on. It'd be suicide.
You'll die, boy. But you'll lose your balls first.
Jesus Christ. Come on.
I have to admit, I didn't actually pick up the throwing knives, but if I need to make a silent kill, I do have the bow.
Okay, get down.
Cabin's in the clearing down there. There'll be a bunch of fellers hiding out there too.
Are these fellas armed?
Armed, drunk, wary of strangers, yup.
And Colm O'Driscoll?
He'll be holed up in his cabin. Be passed out, booze blind, likely as not.
Hey, over there. Someone's coming.
So, who's gonna tell him we ain't got nothing for the pot?
Oh, let me think. The feller that spooked the game, I reckon.
I'm gonna drain it. I'll catch up.
No, we ain't gonna fall for that. We're gonna wait so you can tell him yourself.
Yeah.
If anyone's actually gonna shoot the messenger, it'd be that mean son of a bitch.
Yes, sir.
Come on, shake it off.
Come on.
What are we doing about the pisser, Morgan? One by the tree.
Yeah, this one's all yours, Bill.
He's yours, Williamson.
Okay.
Gonna get the bow ready.
I got him.
Don't move.
Come on, Bill. You got this.
Now stay here. Don't you damn move.
Alright, Bill got the first one. Now together we need to take out the second two. The problem here is I really should have taken the opportunity while their backs were turned to sneak up, get closer, and guarantee a bow kill. And, well, I kinda didn't. So I kinda fucked it up. Yeah, this is pretty much all on me.
It's on! We move quick, we move hard. Come on, then! Come on!
We caught him on the drink!
That would have been right with just for you. Clean them up! Clean them out!
I can't really see anything from here. Gonna have to move up. Yeah, I can't see shit through the undergrowth. I should probably take my own advice and actually move up. I can't really see them, but they can definitely see me. And also, every time I try to take a shot at the target that I can see, John's in the way. I got one of them. Let's move up to the next tree. Slightly bigger tree. More cover. Come on, where are you? There's one. Where did he go? See, the problem with a carbine repeater is it doesn't have great range. So, at this kind of range, you can't really snap to a target. Now, you can still hit them, but you have to aim manually. So I'm going to need to get closer. Let's reload. Damn it, take the hits. My stamina core is completely depleted, so I can't afford to do anything particularly strenuous. God damn it, John, get out of the way! Head for these rocks. No, don't climb onto the rocks, take cover behind the rocks. Oh, we're being flanked to the left. Oh, well, we were being flanked to the left. Looks like John got him. There can't be that many of them left. Come on. Oh, gonna use the Deadeye ability. That looks like something flammable. Yeah. It looks like the rest of them have had enough.
Leave them. Comb's still here.
So despite my worst efforts, we have actually done it. In my defence, this is still very early on in the game. Trust me, I do actually get a lot better at this.
I'll check. You look out here.
It'd be difficult for me to get much worse.
Give me some of that Irish gold.
Right, need to search the cabin. If Colm is here, he's going to be in the cabin.
What you holding, O'Driscoll?
Sounds like Bill's looting the bodies. And I'd like to stop and loot the bodies, but you can't really hang around the scene of the crime for too long because this amount of gunfire, even out here in the sticks, will have attracted some kind of attention. Now, like I said, we are pretty far out in the sticks, so it will take the law a while to arrive, but they will arrive, so we need to get this done and get the hell out of here.
You all right?
Sure. Thank you.
Well, that was unexpected,
O'Driscoll. He ain't here.
but not entirely unwelcome.
You set us up. Come here!
What?
You set us up.
Right,
No, I didn't.
think about this,
Colm
Arthur.
O'Driscoll ain't here!
He was here, I swear. If I was setting you up, I wouldn't have saved your life.
It's a good point, Arthur.
Yeah, it is a very good point. It's quite tragic that Bill's the
All
one
right,
pointing
then,
it
come on,
out.
Get out of here.
Hey?
I won't kill you.
I didn't set you up.
Get lost.
Get lost.
I'm letting you run away. Now go on. Get out of here.
That's as good as killing me. Out there, without you, Colm O'Driscoll's gonna lose his mind about this.
So?
So I'm one of you now.
Give me a break. All right, then. But I'm warning you.
Oh, I know.
Come on, let's get to camp.
So you got the cash then?
What cash?
Yeah, there's usually some cash. In the chimney.
I'll check it. Rest of you boys, get to camp, quick.
See, Arthur? I ain't so bad.
Hey, Bill. You tell Dutch old Kieran ain't worth killing. Just yet.
Right you are.
See, I told you Kieran wasn't that bad. He's actually quite a nice kid. Anyway, I'm going to need to loot this place quick. I mean, there's a lockbox here, which is bound to have something useful in it. Ginseng elixir, I believe that's going to add some stamina experience. But the important things to note in this cabin, as well as the money clips scattered around the table where somebody was playing poker, is to make sure you grab that double-barreled shotgun hanging over the fireplace, because this is your first real firepower upgrade. And also, of course, don't forget to do as Kieran told you and check inside the chimney.
At least you got something tucked away.
$600. Not bad. Now, half of that goes to the camp. The other half gets split between you, John, and Bill, because we were the ones on the job. Kieran doesn't count, not yet. So that's a $100 payday, and it's your first big payday in the game. And don't spend too much time looting the place, because like I said, that amount of gunfire will have attracted some attention, and the law will be turning up to investigate. And you cannot afford to be witnessed at the scene of the crime. Well, I can. I've just earned $100. But it's best to avoid any unnecessary complications with the law. If I do get identified at the scene of this crime, a bounty will be posted and the law will come after me. So when you're making tracks from the scene of a crime, pay attention to the minimap and stay the hell away from the red bits. Do your level best to not get spotted. Shit. There's a posse behind me. They don't know for a fact that I'm the one who committed the crime, but I'm looking mighty suspicious in the vicinity of an area where a serious crime was committed. So they are on the lookout for me. And the best policy here is to just put some distance between myself and them, and not make things any worse than they already are. After a while they'll give up searching. Or, since I'm pretty close to the county border, I could just cross the county line and they would also give up searching. Unfortunately, I didn't get away clean. They did see my face, so a small bounty of $15 has now been placed on my head. Now, I could have prevented that by wearing a mask, but that kind of comes with its own associated risks. A suspicious looking guy riding a horse, leaving the scene of a crime is worth investigating, but a suspicious looking masked man riding a horse, leading the scene of a crime, is gonna get pursued. So all things considered, that could have been a lot worse. Anyway, with the law successfully evaded, let's get back to camp. Dutch should be happy. I mean, we didn't get Colm O'Driscoll, but we got his money, and we've hurt his gang. So, all in all, it was a pretty successful day's work, and if you ask me, it's worth celebrating.
Listen, my friend.
He's been through
Do
a lot.
you know the
I
Louisville
thought you Irish
maid?
enjoyed a party, Molly.
I am enjoying it. I just don't need to fall over drunk with the rest
Yeah, that's the one.
You know this one, don't you? Go join in.
Some good
Mark,
news.
well, what I do say.
Indeed.
And she was mistress of her trade.
As you usually do, my love.
I put my hand upon her toe. Mark, well, what I do say.
She says, young man, you're rather low for the diddle all day.
I put my finger on her knee. Mark,
Well, what I do say. She says, young man, you're rather free
For diddle all day.
I put my arm around her waist.
Mark well what I do say. She says, young man, you're in great haste for the diddle all day.
I
Put my hand upon her thigh. Mark well what I do say.
She says, you're getting pretty
Diddle all day.
I put
My hand upon her ass. Mark well what I do say. She says, let's lay down on the grass and diddle all day. And we diddle did too.